All products and services featured are independently chosen by editors. However, soaps.com may receive a commission on orders placed through its retail links, and the retailer may receive certain auditable data for accounting purposes. Talk about a day we never expected to come. Stephen is finally out of prison on General Hospital. His half-sis Elizabeth dropped that little tidbit on the Monday, September 23rd episode, telling Terry that he was free and heading straight for Arizona. Seeing as how he's been in jail for nearly 12 years, we were starting to think they just locked him up and thrown away the key. For those who aren't sure who we're talking about, Stephen Lars Weber is the son of Liz's dad, Jeff Weber, and our favorite metal poison killer, Heather. And fun fact, Stephen is kind of the reason Heather is the way she is. Not that anything Heather did was his fault at all, but she might still be sane if he'd never been born. Then again, probably not. Stephen Lars, named after grandpas Steve Hardy and Lars Weber, was conceived back in the 70s when Jeff had an affair with the scheming, soon-to-be psychotic nanny. The doc was married to Monica at the time, but don't feel too bad for her since she was busy having an affair with Jeff's brother Rick. Jeff told Heather to get an abortion so he could stay married to Monica, but instead she secretly sold little Stephen to Peter and Diana Taylor, the couple she'd been working as a nanny for. And Jeff and Monica got a divorce anyway. Heather eventually married Jeff and, wanting her baby back, tried to poison his adoptive mom with LSD to drive her crazy. Instead, Heather got things mixed up, drank the spiked drink, and she's been batty ever since. It took a bit for the truth to come out, but once Jeff realized Stephen was his, and both his adoptive parents were dead, the doc took his son back to raise as his own and keep him safe from Heather. The tot grew up off-screen, became a doctor, and wasn't seen again until he returned in 2004 as an adult, played by Sean Benson. He left shortly after getting mixed up with Carly and John Durant, only to return again in 2009, played this time by Scott Reeves, at which point Monica named him chief of staff at the hospital. After a misfire fling with the psychotic Lisa Niles, Steve and Olivia were thrown together, quite literally, when they were in a bus crash together. The two soon fell in love, and even planned to be married, but it all came crumbling down when Steven's ex from Memphis, Maggie, came to town. It soon came out that Steve had killed a comatose convicted murderer serving a life sentence in order to take his organs for a teen that needed a transplant. He came clean to Olivia, and all seemed well. But then Johnny Zakara found out what happened and blackmailed Steve into helping him sell organs on the black market. When he eventually balked, Johnny turned him into the cops for the Memphis murder. But just about this time, Heather was released from Ferncliff, and Mommy Dearest tried helping her son out by murdering Maggie and framing her for the transplant murder. But eventually, the cops caught up to him, and Steve was hauled off to prison, just as he was about to say, "I do" to Olivia. He was arrested and sent to jail in 2013, and that's where he's been ever since. Until now. Heather does occasionally mention her son, but this last mention seemed especially pointed, since we learned that Steve is now out of prison. At the same time, the show made it clear he was not coming back to Port Charles. Yet. Liz says he's unlikely to visit in order to keep clear of his mom. And we get it because we probably should have mentioned, also injected Olivia with LSD, tried to get her to kill herself, and later, when that didn't work, held her at knife point only to stab her own son when he rushed to the rescue. We wouldn't want to be near our mom either if she did that. But that could change if Heather's redemption ever takes and folks find out that Portia switched her test results. What are your thoughts? Now that he's free, is Stephen Lars ever going to return to Port Charles? Would you like to see Liz's brother back once again?